Oh, I think it is caught on camera. Good evening, Tasha. How are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I mean, blessed, highly favored, grateful. I'm just in a great space. Good to be here tonight.
Today, you don't even know, grateful. Yes.
Amen. Amen. And thank you for those who are joining us tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about our greatest fear.
I'm scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared, right? So why don't you tell us like how we got to this topic?
Oh my gosh. I don't remember.
Well, we came across, well, all right, I didn't mean to throw you for a loop there. But
Yeah,
remember we
you know how my memory is set.
I know, but we had found a poem by Marianne Williamson.
Yes. I do recall that. I think the character in Aquila and the Bee recited this poem, but it talked about not shrinking. You know, your being small does not serve the world.
Right.
And we are oftentimes taught as women to shrink and be small and fall back, and that's being humble and ladylike and quiet.
Ladylike and reserve and not being too boastful. First of all, I have to say good evening to Gangsta E and Miss Nan. Thank you, ladies, for joining us tonight.
Who don't shrink for anyone.
Okay.
Ma'am, no.
I mean, but listen, I think it's safe to say that you and I are fairly confident women and that we have fairly strong personalities.
A little bit.
A little bit. But, the shrinking, I think, is taught by society, and particularly as Black women. But one of the things that also sort of led to this conversation is Serena Williams, right? We watched Serena as she has been playing over the last 20 some odd years, and she went through hell, right? Like the way she celebrated and the way she began is 180-degree difference.
180 degrees. And who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Except for her.
And her daddy.
And her daddy and her sister,
mama.
right?
And her mamas, yes.
But really on a large scale, who would have thought that she would have been so great, so impactful, so envied, right? And historical. I mean, she's down in the history books.
Absolutely. And so when she changed the game of tennis. So when we think about, and I think about the criticisms of Serena early on, right? And this is just sort of to fill in the color of the conversation. Serena said, she was too manly. Her body was too manly. Her and Venus made too much noise as they were hitting the ball. They didn't like their hair, right? They didn't like the beads. They didn't like the noises they made. Right. And so I thought it was, so they went to Indian Wells, California. They were told, nigger, get out of here. They were said, don't ever come back. To the point where they didn't go to Indian Wells for another 14 years.
But they continued to walk back straight, head held high, and
whoop them.
And it's attributed to fantastic parenting.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And building that confidence from day one.
Right.
We talk about mindset all the time, but when you think about the mindset that their father instilled and built, day after day after day into them, it's only a testament to what you can do when you put your mind to something.
And what you have when you have support at home, because it's those words in your house that combat what the world is telling you. Because I can't imagine being in an arena and everyone calling me booze, or listening to sportscasters talking to millions of people talking about either the way I dress or the way I play, right? And fast forward to now she's retiring. Listen, the world of tennis don't want to see her go because they saw the highest numbers they've ever seen. They know people come out to see the Williams sisters, right? Yeah. And then also, it was so crazy. I was listening to one of the commentators, and one of the opponents she was playing, like she comes and she hits it hard. And the guy says, yeah, everyone hits like that now because of Serena. The very thing that they said was too masculine, right? The very thing.
Right.
And I and I'm sorry, I was gonna say one more thing. Like Serena, when she hits that ball and she makes it,
Oh,
she gives out that roar,
yeah.
right? Like it's not about being dainty. It's not about being pretty. It's about owning all of your glory. Hi, Miss Gail. How are you?
Hey, ladies. I read an article once that said, as a parent, your voice becomes your child's inner voice.
Yes. Yeah.
And think about when you talked about Indian Wells, they're saying this and saying that, but her inner voice is her dad and her mom saying, "You're beautiful, you're the best at this.
Yeah.
Be confident." And that is what gets you through.
Yeah. I mean, she was, regardless of what white folks said about her, because I'm gonna just say it, white folks said it, she was loved by black folks.
Yes.
She was loved by us, as opposed, and so that she was a symbol for little black girls and for young girls all over, right? I'm not, she was a symbol for all girls, that they can go hard, they can play hard, they don't, and they can play like a girl, and that is determined by what they see and feel for themselves.
Yes.
And that is like one of the best lessons and legacies I think that you can live. And as women, we need those examples because we're not often told that.
Yeah. Listen, I love it. I think it's a great example. I think we both had really great example of strong black women in our lives, but everyone is not so blessed.
No,
And so
but to your point, something that you made earlier before we got on air, there are areas where we actually don't do it as well as we should.
oh yes, there are.
So like Gail says, and loved by the WTA for all the money. Absolutely. Oh, they love her now. They love her.
Now, always.
But as strong as we are and as confident as we are, we're not very good at promoting ourselves. Like that is just not our bag.
Everyone has, their issues here and there. And I do think being taught to be humble and reserved and quiet doesn't always play well in every situation, right?
Right.
Definitely being quiet, because I listened to a talk about leadership and Nelson Mandela being the last person to speak in the room and being quiet, right? Like so there's a balance that has to be struck between the being quiet and being sure to speak up for yourself in a room.
Yeah.
You can demand the salary that you want, demand,
you can,
and be grateful for what you already have. I do appreciate how, frequent the raises have come, but in this commission job, the sales have also come very frequently. And so, right?
Yeah, you got to be able to sell yourself. I recently heard something of a woman who felt like, and here's the thing, right? It's what you go after and what you put your mind to. This woman has a job. She's getting paid, say, X amount of dollars. She came in and said, no, well, I feel like I'm doing more work than the person who before me did. What? The numbers when they spelled it out, she really wasn't, right? She was underutilized, but she really wasn't doing any more work. They said, okay, we'll give you, say, X amount of dollars more. She said, thank you for your offer, but I'm going to have to decline. Now, you know what I mean? And I'm going to say, I'm the first person. I'm not the best at negotiation, but I thought that was a heck of a move. And she had him on the ropes. And they doubled it.
Woo!
They doubled it.
Nice.
And she said, thank you very much. But she believed it. She opened her mouth, and we often say, closed mouths don't get fed.
That's right. And we have been working on negotiation.
We have been.
And I pray for experiences and opportunities to practice my negotiation skills when it comes to my salary all the time.
Yes.
I welcome it. That means there's opportunity for increase.
But I mean, and you and I, like, we struggle. And social media has to be a part of our life, but we're not big on talking about either what we do, what our titles. And, some people might find what we do fairly impressive. Some people might find our titles very outside of here quite impressive.
You are quite impressive. I mean, I'm impressed on a day-to-day basis. And
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. I'm impressed
I'm
with you.
serious. I was telling my mom, I think I was telling my mom the other day, and I was like, man, Sharon be on TV and she does this and she does that. And then I listened to you talk, about people that you interact with, and I'm like, dude, it is impressive. And so you're right. But for you, this is just day to day. This is just what I do. Right.
Yeah. Ben Chat. Hi there. What is this chat about? Ben Chat, it is about our greatest fear. Thank you for watching, right? And what we're talking about is that women are often taught to shrink and be a shrinking violet, right? And we're not always taught to live out loud and be bold. And Serena Williams is a heck of a model of how to do it and do it well. So
And
thanks for asking.
we have to learn how to do it or we are going to get left behind. I will
Absolutely.
say that we have gotten better as a people and, you know, as a society.
Yeah, I guess so. But
We've
I
definitely gotten better. We talked about resume writing. That is the one piece of paper that is supposed to be, show the most impressive things about you. And we struggle with writing
yep.
our accomplishments and how fantastic we are. But we pay someone else to listen to our story and they're able to articulate it for us. And when we get it back, we're like, oh, is this
It's like, listen, I work in PR. I write, pretty well.
other people?
I really have a difficult time myself. I'd like to hear from the audience. Have you all ever struggled? Gangsta E, Nan, Ben Chat, where have you struggled and have you always had your voice? I feel like as I get older, I'm getting stronger in my voice, which, could be good or bad for some people.
I feel like my voice is strong
Yeah.
and I do have a level of confidence most of the time that allows me to move in ways that others might not. I mean, think about my current position.
Yeah.
I just said, "Hey, this is really not working out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to do this and this and this." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, let's do that."
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, someone else could have also spoke up and said the same thing, but they didn't.
I just know, I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten more comfortable, but I certainly carried the weight of being a Black woman and being told, you're too aggressive, you're too strong. Like that always preceded anything about me. All right, what does Ben Chat say? I
I
struggle explaining my job, why I have designed a building in a specific way. I'm an architect. I feel you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Gangsta E says, I struggle with being the only Black in a leadership position early on. Ooh, that one.
Or being the only lady in the room
Yes.
and the men talking over you. You have an idea, you say it, but it's heard differently from John 2 seats down or across the table. And you're like, "Isn't that what I just
I
said?"
Does it sound different when you say it? That's, sometimes I have to say that. Did it sound different when you said it? Because really,
And so what do we do in that situation, right? Do you speak up and do you say, "Yes, John, I agree. What I just said was so and so and so," right? And or do you seem aggressive in that situation? You know?
right. I mean, and then how do you balance that? Because I was once told that I was so aggressive. I was like, I don't even come like that. And it was merely because I challenged someone and I pointed out an error that they made and they took it. I mean, and you would have thought I cut them a new one. It was amazing.
It's a delicate balance. And so we talked about part of a prayer that we pray. It's for others to speak well of us in rooms where we're not there so that we don't have to seem aggressive. Do you want to talk about Becky's email?
Wait, hold on one second. So Ben said, I've noticed that many women who want to show that they are bold and do not fear anything go for the shaved head look. Do you think this is so? And so Gail said this just happened to me. So not the bald head thing, but I don't know, Ben. I don't know that I've seen the shaved head thing to seem strong. I know that women are just embracing their beauty and not conforming to what others think
Considered beautiful.
consider beautiful, right? I do find that as women, we're saying I'm not concerned about the male gaze. It's what I feel, what's comfortable for me. And if I don't like doing hair every day, hashtag the curly, you know, and I go to the gym, I'm not gonna do it. But yes, I know oh, Ben
Yeah,
said
what just happened to Gail?
so Gail had a scenario, and Gail can kind of type in is that she was trying to clarify something. It was a paycheck actually. And the person was not responding. They kept messing up with her paycheck.
Hmm.
And she kept putting it in writing. Hey, this isn't correct. This isn't correct. And then that person decided they weren't even going to respond to her. So she goes to her boss, and her boss talks to the person who's in charge of payroll. And instead of reading the email that Gail sent, she just said, well, you can be aggressive sometimes.
Oh.
Did you read the email? Oh, you didn't. And so it's because the person who was falling down on the job says, well, she's a little aggressive. Wait a minute, you're not even responding to emails.
Mm.
You're in the wrong. You're messing with somebody's money. And so that's a very tough position, and it's unfortunate. Oh, it never feels good. It never feels good.
Nan says, I struggled with being the only Black lawyer in a Fortune 500 company, and I had to go toe to toe with my general counsel on a case he thought this woman could not handle. And yes, I won.
Yes, Nan. Yes.
Gail said he said I was kind of aggressive. And aggressive, it could be mistaken for passion oftentimes.
I mean, I think when it comes to women, and I'm going to say particularly Black women, when it comes to us speaking up for ourselves, it is a catch-all for aggression.
Yes.
And that's the unfair thing, which why I'm so proud of Serena. And Nan, shout out to you. I've been there too. I've gone toe to toe, head to head.
Yes.
And right now it feels good.
It does. It feels so good.
All right, listen. This is gonna do it for us tonight. I am so happy that
well, I did want to circle it back to accountability.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, no worries. How do we get over this fear? Right? How do you and I get better about standing up for ourselves and exuding confidence? Man said he thought I couldn't handle it because it was a discrimination case brought up by a Black woman. Yeah, he thought you were gonna have feelings in there. But circling it back to accountability, it's all about mindset. And when we get together with our groups, one of the first things that we do is celebrate our wins, right? And encourage each other. So we're becoming that inner voice, right?
Yeah.
Think about things that I do. What would my accountability partner say about this? Most times I can just call her and talk it out.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much.
Sometimes, right, you can't. And it's nice to have the people. We've gotten text, right, from women in our group to say, here's the situation, here's what's going on. Like, just talk me through it really quickly, right?
Right.
And that's the accountability that helps build the confidence and have us stand up and be strong as we are.
Yeah, Nan says Gail says we say screw it and go for it. Nan says don't be afraid. And I'd like to say, as you are my accountability partner, I will reflect at times how you stand in it, and you just say, I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna get it. Why can't I have it? I'm going to get it. And so I model that. I'm like, all right, it works for Tasha. I guess that's what we're doing right now. we're doing it. We're doing it. And I think we're also blessed to have great accountability in strong mothers.
Yeah.
Who stand behind us. And as you said, they are the voices in our head. And we're blessed for that. And so, yes, as accountability, if you don't have that in your life, an accountability partner who's in your corner, who wants to see you succeed is an amazing option to have for sure.
And we're here for you.
We absolutely are. We absolutely are. And so, listen, we invite you to join us for Set It Off Sundays, right? You can go. It's what we do and Set It Off Sundays is that we invite you to get ready for your week, right? Start the plan. We know how difficult things can get, how overwhelmed your week can look like, right? That's us. Like you can just set your clock on it.
8:30 on Sunday.
8:30 on Sundays. Join us. Go to bit.ly, Set It Off Sun. Use that capital S in there. Join us and it's for free. Tasha and I will coach you for free. Also, you can always follow us on social at AQ Partners, at AQ_partners, and the AQpartners.com. And as always, you can take our class, change the game. Go to bit.ly/AQ class.
Miss Nance, Gangsta E says, my daughter can conquer the world.
Yes, she can.
See that? Miss Nance says, you have no idea how much I really wish you were on Zoom.
We are on Zoom?
We're on Zoom for Set It Off Sundays.
Yeah, soon. Set It Off Sundays on Zoom. So please come through. Join us. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for us this evening. I appreciate you for holding me accountable.
Have a good night. Thanks for joining.
Good night, everybody.